how does my camera work?
Say that again, Kevin.
I said, it's how does my camera work, or what's
Okay.
my camera about? So in thinking about this over the last couple of weeks, I looked through YouTube videos and stuff, and what I've decided to do is uh, open up my how-to manual for my camera and just briefly go through that, looking at the different parts, you know, nomenclature, that kind of thing. So, with that in mind, um, remind me, do I have to open up my Chrome first before I share, or share first?
Yeah, no, open first. Open what you want to share and then go to share.
And if you're going to show a video, make sure when you share, that you're sharing with the computer sound.
Okay, yeah, I don't have any video. So let's see. Desktop, share. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
We got it.
What the hell is that? Oh, well.
I don't know. When I opened up Zoom, it said, "Oh, you need an update," and then all this other goofy stuff came on here.
Yeah. Okay.
I had an update also before.
Did you? All right.
You ought to X out that little box right here. Up at the top right. It says turn on reactions. Why don't you X that out? Okay. Thank you.
So I have a Sony camera. It's a pretty nice one. So here's the front view.
Detected at your front door.
And it's just got a lot of buttons and knobs, and oh my gosh. But this is only about the camera. It doesn't have anything to do with the lens except where to mount it. When the lens is removed, you have this is what they're seeing inside under the lens. And then I'm trying to figure out a way to get the picture and all these names up here at the same time, but can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously power switch and the shutter button are in the same area. Kind of weird. But then it has a front dial, which depending on which mode you're in, it'll either control aperture, shutter speed, depending on which mode you're in. And then item number 3 is a remote sensor. And I have a remote that I can use to activate the camera with. And then for the real geeky people, it has a Wi-Fi antenna built in, which I've not used yet. Then there's the lens release button. It's just a locking button when you turn your lens in, and that locks. You have to press that to get it open and take the lens off. This camera has a microphone. It does videos. And then number 7 is the autofocus illuminator. And oddly enough, that gets that gets covered up sometimes with my fat fingers. It's really weird. I couldn't figure out what was going on one time. It wouldn't focus worth the darn. And here I was holding my camera in an odd way and covering it up with my finger. Item number 8, after you take the lens off, is the indexing point for mounting the lens. Then you have the image sensor, the mounting ring itself, and then the electrical contacts.
Could I say something there about the electrical contacts?
Of course.
A few months ago, I started having problems with my camera not focusing or going out of focusing or getting error messages, no matter which lens I put on it. And I took it to Nikon Repair. It turned out somehow I had bent the mount just enough that the contacts weren't working very well.
Wow.
So those are important. And I guess the why I'm saying this is if you start having issues, that's something to look into, I think. Okay.
Very good, very good. So that was the front of the camera. Now we get to the real part of the camera here, the part that we see all the time, and that's the rear. Let me see. So item number 1 is the eyepiece. Item number 2, the viewfinder. Item number 3, the menu button. And for me, that's a little bit in an odd place, but you have to kind of get working for it. Then item number 4 is an eye sensor. So this eye sensor is, if you're not looking through the eyepiece and that little cup there, it'll turn on this display back here, the monitor, so that you can see through the monitor. And that's item number 5 here. And then you can adjust this monitor, and it's not as functional as I would like, but it flips out so that you can hold your camera like a Hasselblad, put it down belt height and see things, or you can put it down on the ground without laying down on your belly and stuff. So it's pretty nice. And item number 6 here is the diopter, and that adjusts the focus in the eyepiece itself. The viewfinder. So number 7, C3. Let me go back and reduce this one more time here. Here, all these little buttons have all kinds of stuff to do. So item 7 says it's a custom button, and you can use it for enlarging and stuff like that on the monitor if you want. You can change these things around and set them up however you like. And then you have item number 8 is autofocus, manual focus, and AEL switch. Then you have the rear dial, which again works in conjunction with the front dial. And if in your manual mode, the front, I think, does aperture, the rear does shutter speed. And item number 10, auto manual focus button. You can change whether you're going to use auto or manual focusing. And then you can also set that button up so that you know how when you have you push the shutter down halfway, it does the focusing. This can be called a back button focus. So you can just hit that with your thumb and it will focus just like depressing your shutter halfway. And there's a movie button there, which I've never used. The FN button is like a simple menu button that you set up functions in the camera with. So if you want to change something like your ISO or color mode or, you know, different things, there's about 8 different boxes within it. When you click that up, the menu immediately comes up on the monitor, and you can use this item 13 to scroll through those items and set things up. So it's a shortcut to the menu. And then you have more custom buttons. You have a trash button. You have the 16 here. That's for reviewing your photos after you've taken them. And then if you want to just hit the trash, you can hit the trash. And then this is the side views. I don't use any of this stuff. I've yet to open that up and plug in my camera to my computer, and I've not used, there's a charging port in there. The only ones that I use are on this side. Well, there's other things on this image here. The mode dial, that's, you know, manual, auto, aperture. More custom buttons. Is that
Where's that noise coming from?
Kevin,
From Glenn.
Somebody just stepped up here.
it's jumping all over the place. No, it's showing Glenn.
Somebody is on twice feedback through 2 devices at their place.
Oh, okay, let me look and see.
That was me. I apologize.
Okay, continue, Kevin.
Okay, all figured out.
Yeah,
So then, item number 12 is an exposure compensation dial. I've started to play with that, and I only got interested in it after I figured out that I had adjusted it unknowingly. And for some reason, it's got a locking mechanism on there that you have to actuate to make it change. I don't know what I did, grabbed it wrong or something. And all of a sudden, my pictures were looking really dark. I'm like, what? This can't be right. So I'm playing around with the ISO and doing all kinds of things. And I'm like, no, this isn't right. And I step back and, oh, look, here I'm on -3. And I'm thinking, wow, that's got to be it. So I started playing around with that a little bit more. It's interesting. You can lighten up pictures that you are taking when it's darker out, or in a dark room, or under the trees, and it just lightens up everything right there before you take the shot. So it's kind of interesting. And then course, you got shoulder strap hooks and things like that. I don't have, I've never used item 14, this NFC enabled smartphone, but that's there. And then, of course, you have your battery, memory card cover, memory card slot. I have 2 slots for memory cards, slot 1 and slot 2. And then you have
What is the difference between the 2 slots?
nothing really. It just it allows you to put 2 memory cards in your camera. So, for instance, and then you identify which slot you want your pictures to be recorded on. So if you're running along and you've said originally, oh, you want to record your pictures on the card in slot 1, and all of a sudden says memory full, you can go into the menu and hit slot 2 and keep going with a fresh new card. You don't have to change out anything and stuff. So it's,
I'm sure,
Doesn't do it
Kevin, that,
automatically?
I'm
Kevin,
sorry.
sorry. Okay. Okay. I'm sure there's a way on mine. You can set that what card to be overflow or duplicate or backup. And there's a couple of other options. I got it set as overflow.
Good.
So if I fill up card 1, it'll just automatically go to card 2.
And
Thank you.
that's possible. I've never done anything but select slot 1.
I'll bet you a coffee copy that there's that option.
I'll go and look.
Yeah, oftentimes it will take a RAW to one of the memory cards
yeah.
and do a JPEG to the other card.
That's true. That's usually a common option too. Also.
Very
Captain
good.
Larry, you're going to say something?
No, that answers the question.
So then there's a battery slot, there's a battery cover, of course the tripod mounting. Then I can connect it to a power adapter so I don't have to recharge my batteries. I have a good separate battery charger and some backup, so normally it's my error to leave my backup battery in the charger when I take off and then run low on power. So anyway, that's the camera. What time we got here? 37.
Got 20 minutes.
We want to go through all this stuff? Nah. Let's do this. I'm going to stop, and then tomorrow I'm going to stop and see Eric at Tuttle's, and he's going to share some cameras, camera parts that we can look at, feel, touch, and talk about tomorrow at the meeting. So
Oh, that's great.
kind of get to know what these things are. Maybe, I don't know if Doug's gone or Steve, but they can help us out. We can play around with our cameras. But in the meantime, for those of us who haven't played with this help guide for your camera, Um, that's the assignment, is to go in, look at your help guide, go through it, find something that you don't know about, research it, get to know a little bit more about your camera.
Idea.